everyone. I'm Gavin.
Oh, okay. It's my turn.
Yep.
No, or Tweek. No, also known as no. Okay.
I'm not
it's
known as
Marcus.
anything.
Oh, okay. Yup, just Gavin. It's Marcus for Pink in the building. What's good? What's good?
What up? Charles in the building as well.
It's Chuck.
And you got Matt has also here. What's going on, everyone? We had a great weekend of Smash Ultimate action here, and Melee, honestly, too, at Double Down 2022. That's our only topic for today, let's be honest. I mean, there's a lot to talk about and a lot to dive into here, just looking at the bracket. I think the easiest place to start, honestly, is the winner, Proto Banham, man. Like, what a run from Proto himself, and then also taking out Leo twice. Like, so this is like a super legitimate. You can't be like, oh, it's a Mickey Mouse major, it's a Mickey Mouse small. Doesn't even count win. It's like 2 wins on Leo that's the hardest thing in the game to do currently today, and Proto did it. Congrats to him, man. Like that. Some
Grand
of the
final specifically feels like the real test,
Yeah, dude.
Bro.
The best min play we've seen yet in Ultimate.
Big
what I
agree,
mean?
big
It was so clean.
Big agree. I mean, it's still gonna be Mickey Mouse because Minmin's a Mickey Mouse character. Fighter Pass 2, Mickey Mouse. Woo, can't be a real win. Like,
how many times are we saying Mickey Mouse?
But
you got into Smash. It's crazy.
We almost reached our limit. Yeah, we only get 5, so make it count.
We'll be there for sure.
It's like Wonder Wing.
It was just cool to watch. I mean, I've been following Proto obviously because I play Minmin, and he had had a dip in results in Japan for a little bit. He was kind of struggling to compared to his old self, where he was like winning all the events or like top 8ing all the events. He sometimes was like struggling to even get top 16 at the event. So it was cool to see him come over here, play well, perform well, and the thing about like Proto is how disciplined his Min is. Like any other Min, they're just at some point they're gonna fold. Like they just fold. They're gonna do something like start throwing their smash attacks out or something that's like really committal and get punished, and he just doesn't. He just does this. I'm going to poke you with Ram 17,000 times in a row. I'm going to control this space until it gets to the point where I think I've conditioned you well enough to where you won't do it. So it was really cool to see. I've always been a fan, and it was just nice to see him get a W and see that Leo has a character he struggles with, which is really interesting.
Yeah, dude, that was the craziest thing is seeing his, because you threw anything at Leo before, Aegis, Pikachu, Rob, Wolf, Roy, it doesn't matter. Like, it never really, Pac-Man, it doesn't matter. You throw anything at him, it's not shook.
He did have a Mega Man issue.
He
struggled with Mega Man for about, like, I would say 6-ish months, maybe a year. I don't know how big the gap was because Mars actually beat him with Mega Man, and Kameme beat him at Mega Man at Evo.
Sure,
Evo. Actually, the reason why he went into losers bracket. So I don't know how long exactly that gap is, but he's had a slight, like, the only slightest character issues he's ever had was Mega Man, and it was very brief. But this Min problem feels longer than the Mega Man time.
This is like him expressing frustration, you know what I mean? This isn't like, a couple losses. This is shades of Smash 4 DK, you know what I mean? For him, for sure, where it's like, and he never got that way in Ultimate, which is, credit to him, because
everyone, this is a compliment. Like,
for sure.
And oh my god, this guy's a human.
I know, dude. I know, it's insane. So, and I mean, obviously, there's been a lot of a talk around Fighter Pass 2, and mostly Kazuya and Steve, obviously, and it was really interesting to see, how is Leo going to do against those characters and all this stuff. And T, honestly, probably should have won that set. Probably a couple. I mean, what do you mean?
I think I'm confident in saying more than probably should have won that set.
I will say that T was like about 5 electrics off from winning the entire tournament, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Like if I had to put a number on it, I would say he was about 5. He got like 5 Wind God Fists instead of electric Wind God Fists, and he was about 5 of them, and he would have won the. I think he would have won the entire thing. And it, like, to me, I know T's executions are pretty strong, in my opinion, or at least like when I watched it at Summit and stuff like that. So it was pretty surprising to see, and I just feel like he was kind of running out of gas. That's how I felt about T's run, where it's like, okay, now the slight drops are coming out with the Kazuya. You're probably, I mean, he was down 0-2, right? And then brought out the Pac-Man. I mean, when you're starting to run out of steam, it's like you just go back to your default main, right? And it just
Pac-Man was still like
It was still amazing. Don't get me wrong.
That was some of the best I think I've seen as Pac-Man play. Like that was
first cola and stuff. Yeah,
Dabuz, the back air confirm off of the bell, dude.
Yeah.
For the trade, for the kill, dude. He just somehow keeps revolutionizing that character. Like I don't get it. Like every time you think, I loved it because when we interviewed the Japanese player, one term that always stuck with me, they were like, "Oh, this character has tricks, right? Like tricks. Like we might call it cheese or jank or something like that. Like kind of synonymous term, but tricks." And he never runs out of tricks, dude. Like, he just always has them, especially with Pac-Man. Like, it just looked... I love his Pac-Man, honestly. Like, his character combo is just nasty.
It really is nasty.
It's...
sorry.
Oh, go ahead, Kevin.
That moment with the back air off of the bell trade was... It's just... Basically, Dabuz landed a hit, and every time you get hit when you're holding an item, there's an RNG chance of you to drop it. So the RNG chance happened there, and he got a kill off of it.
Dude, just think about how strong Pac-Man is in that state. That's why, like, item characters are crazy. You know what I mean? Like, Diddy, I don't think it's as crazy as a Bell, but Diddy can get reversals off the banana.
Diddy can get some pretty crazy stuff.
Right, and just, like, when... And the thing about Bell and Banana that I personally, I'm just like, this is ridiculous with how items work when you get hit. It's like, you have to respect this character because if you get hit with this item, you die. But then when you open them up, if they're holding it, like there's I don't know the exact percentage chance, but from what I'm told, around 50-ish%, like half-ish percent, where you could just drop the item. And I mean, either just completely reset neutral or you get reversal, which is...
I think what's interesting about this, in Smash 4, I'm pretty sure Z dropping items like the bell, like I don't think it
didn't keep its properties.
It didn't have the electric effect.
None of the fruits had property.
They didn't keep their
in
properties.
Smash 4 that kept their property was key during Z drop, which is why in Ultimate, Pac-Man's insanely buffed. Not only did they revamp like all of his boxing options and made him a combo character essentially, and have an insane nair out of shield, he also got the huge buff of like Z dropping Bell and shit like that is so strong.
Yeah.
Bro, he was teabagging, man. Teabagging, you know? He was with the Bell. He did it, dude. It's so
funny. One of my favorite things to watch when T is playing Pac-Man is when like the hydrant's in the middle of the stage and like the two characters are like far away from each other. He'll just like cross his legs while he's charging fruit, like literally taking a break. Like he literally just stops the game for a little bit and he's like you know, collecting himself, super chill, and I'm like, that is just so funny. Like, T is always like the most entertaining person to watch. Like, honestly, shout out to that.
T's
great. And not a lot of Japanese players are like that, where they kind of like get powered up from the crowd and stuff like that. You see T when he wins, he like turns to the crowd, like gets them all hyped. Like, there's not a lot of Japanese players that do that.
Kazuya Mishima pose after the crew battle.
Yeah,
the crew battle.
He's an entertainer, and it's really cool to see a player like that from Japan.
That was so funny. Leo's on the verge. It's like extra hype comeback. Like he's like taking out all these players. He's on Joker, and they're like, "What if T? What if he beats T too?" And the match starts. He just gets electric once, and it's like, "Well,
zero to death." Yeah,
GG.
GG, man.
That was
it was
funny,
very
bro.
comical, to be honest.
Dude,
and R send me if I zero to death you.
Bro, he fought so hard too. Like there were so many close sets before that. It was amazing, honestly. And then it was just like
all the build up.
I remember we were watching a Discord. I'm like, oh, I love this Kazuya picks because if he hits him once, he loses. Like that's it. And then instantly, like he just crumbled. Like it didn't matter. Like
he worked so hard against two other players and just GG's.
Dude, Kazuya started mixing in that
platform,
the OS, man.
Dude, that's hard to do. That's hard. So you have to double jump nair so you can hold
the
input, the crouch input. And then right when you get out of nair, you do the rising crouch, but the timing is very tight.
Yeah.
That's actually the FERPS OS on the platform. They use the nair so you can store the down. So I mean, like when I say his execution's crazy, he's doing like all the really, really hard stuff because the rising crouch does so much damage and it makes it so you don't have to do like one or two more electric extension. You just get that crouch damage. It does so much, and then it has so much hit stun. You just go into the dragon uppercut. And it's just
crumbles them too, and that's a big advantage of auto turnaround, right? Because you can just hold down, and then he's gonna turn around once he lands. Yeah, it's
every option.
Whoever thought of that is brilliant. Honestly, I remember seeing that tech when it first came out. It's so good. First, that's my go. I love First. That guy rules.
Huge shouts to Proto winning the event once again. Like, the most impressive thing about Proto's play is, like, like Min can be a very like oppressive character, and Proto like shows that basically every time he's on the screen. Like it was just oppressive. Everyone was just getting bullied, and like it was just dominant.
Full control.
And shout out to Leo, of course. It's funny when the hot topic is, you know, Leo losing and he just gets second place. Like
dude,
damn.
That and the R.O.B. We gotta talk about Roberto, man.
Yeah.
Robot coming through, man.
Just Fundy's R.O.B.
Yeah, that was pure fun. I don't know, dude. The combo game on his R.O.B. was going in. He was doing like delayed fares into down tilt extensions, and I was just like, dang, man, why is it this is like the first time I'm seeing R.O.B. combo like this? I don't know if it's like a Min specific thing. I don't know if he's like frame trapping. Maybe he like delays the fair and most R.O.Bs just go for guaranteed fair, but he gives like a slight delay and it's like, well, if they air dodge, I trap them. If I hit them with delayed forward air, right, I get a extension from that. I can get a dash grab or down tilt. So I don't know if it's just him thinking that deep or he just has a feel for it, but whatever it was, that R.O.B. went in.
For me, I think the game plan was he was pretty much like chipping away in neutral with projectiles, and then at most other aspects of the game, he was just playing like a grappler with some good frame data. Most of the success Leo got in grand finals was just grappling and then going from there, and also just having a stronger disadvantage state than the other characters. And it went a long way, honestly. And I think if you add in some extra layers, then it's kind of scary that he won a set with such a simple strategy. And I think if he kept trying that out, it could be a great solution to his current problem. But he has options, you know what I mean? He doesn't have to use R.O.B. again. He can use, you know, if he wants to use Joker, he still can. But I think this set is great data for him because it's clearly very doable. And he has the great framework to work with. And he also just had the Leo factor on the R.O.B. as well, like just immediately, like, oh, it's over, like Proto's winning this game, and then Leo just immediately like brings it back or wins. Like, you know, all the stuff is there. I think just putting in a little more time, and honestly, like, it's scary to say. I think a few more days or a week of gameplay, and Leo won that set. I think if he played a little more R.O.B. going into Double Down, it was GG's. That's how confident I am in Leo and just any character he plays.
Yeah, the understanding was it was interesting because the issue here is, and this is something that Mega Man kind of holds similar to Min, but not as strong, is the control of mid range, right? And we talked about how Leo's strongest phase or his strongest like distance he plays at is mid range, and shuffling in between like boxing and mid, he's so good at, and that's a lot of ultimate in general. But then you kind of there's some characters that can operate past that, like sword mid range, like Mega Man, Min, right? And those are characters that when a sortie forces a sortie to approach, that makes the whole dynamic different because usually swords are like, oh, I'm fading backwards. I'm the one creating the zone where you have to go around these hitboxes. But when you have to push that onto another character because they're outranging you, that sucks a lot as a sword character. So it's like, I like the answer here. It was very simple. R.O.B, I have laser, I have top. Laser's transcendent, so even if you throw an arm, it can't like clank with it. It'll just go through. I win neutral, I can get close with R.O.B. And there was even times where just the respect of gyro or laser, it would force Proto not to press a button, and then it gave Leo opportunities like, oh, I can dash and down tilt, I can like run up fair, right, and all these different things where he has much more control of the mid range because R.O.B is now outranging Min in certain areas, right? As long as you have the laser up, maybe the top, right? But the fact that Min can still contest in neutral at that distance is pretty crazy, right? The ram and stuff. So I feel like in terms of the exact like tipper range of the arm, they're on a little bit of even footing because the ram just comes out quick, right? So, but R.O.B can kind of like step out just a little bit from that range, and even just the disadvantage was so much better. You saw so many times like Proto was destroying everyone. Like it was so, and I said this a lot on the mic. Proto's offstage was so fun to watch, and he really is pushing this game in terms of the offstage meta. So much players at the top, and this is like completely respectable because it's a consistent strategy, but you watch a lot of players, and like this is like Leo, Spargo, Tweek, a lot of those players will standby roll and ledge trap rather than go off stage, and just go for the 2-frame ledge trap afterwards, right? Super consistent, very good. But Proto is like, I mean, he'll still go for 2 frames with Min, but I've seen him close out so many stocks with like just dropping really low,
early
and like
kills,
killing in the bubble. Like the kill spark can't even zoom in on you. That's how deep Proto goes with Min. And I think his understanding of the offstage is so interesting, because there was even so many times where Proto was getting edge guarded and he would just reversal, and sometimes even reversal for the KO with like a B reverse, like up B and stuff like that, or you know what I mean? Like crazy stuff like that is absolutely insane with a character that has a very mediocre recovery, right? I mean, your best justification is like jump ram, like ram, and then jump up, and you just got to space around that one essentially burst option. So it's not like super bad, but the fact that he was recovering the way he was and how much people he edge guarded was absolutely insane. And even getting him on R.O.B, a character that can like go low, drop really low, and not really get contested, right?
For me, it wasn't the range. Obviously, was a huge part of it, but it's a timing mix-up too, right? And there's 2 hits that you have to account for, and which arm is she using as well? Like, there's just so much, and it felt like Leo and anyone really who plays against the top level Min, you're going to run into those timing mix-ups. You know, how many arms are coming out? It's just so much to keep track of. And the way that Proto was throwing it out, dude, was just ridiculous. Like, it was just, he felt unstoppable, honestly, at certain points. And even like on the defensive side too, Charles, like you said, not just the recoveries, which were immaculate, obviously, but dude, he didn't give Leo an inch. He didn't down throw, instant mash out at 120, like just gone.
His
like,
mash was wild.
Like you couldn't mash was insane,
dude. You couldn't do. That's why he had to ice him out in between. He had to get his hands. You know what I mean? You gotta get him.
Oh man,
warm him up. Gotta get him going, man. Yeah, dude. Yeah, my hands would hurt too. Shit, like he was just he was going for it. He did. Leo had to work for like every kill, basically, whether it was off stage looking for the recoveries, which typically that's a good way to attack Min. Grabs, nothing. Like you just couldn't get anything. It was very impressive from Proto across the board, offensive, defensive, all that good stuff. It was incredible.
When people say that Min has like a bad recovery, it's like this weird thing I think of where, you know how people always say, bro, Cloud's recovery is so garbage. Like, but then you like watch Cloud,
you don't see it happen as often as you would expect.
Really see it happen. It's like, is his recovery that bad? And it's because on the way back, Cloud just has ways to fight you. Like, there's just, oh man, like
insane air mobility too, right?
Yup. Oh, you got too close, I can cross slash, and then it becomes a mix up. Or oh, I have limits on up B. We're not even gonna talk about limit, but like up B is just that hitbox is gigantic. Like Min will just fight you from the blast zone on her way back to the stage. And that's what makes it so hard to edge guard her. And Proto was really good at like deciding when he was going to throw out a button or just be like, you know what, I think they're respecting me right now, so I'm just gonna up B to the edge, and I'm not even gonna worry about that. So it was really cool to see. And I always learn something every time I watch Proto. It's like little things, like the way he's using like down smash is really strange. Like he would like from ledge, he would do
the
like
elite
jump,
smash roll,
smash jump tag, air dodge, down smash or something like that. So I don't know, it's awesome. I think that a lot of people, you know what this kind of reminded me of? When he went Toon Link against you in Smash 4. Where he's like, you know what? I've been playing Toon Link recently. I'm just going to try Toon Link against Donkey Kong. It's like, I've been playing R.O.B. I heard R.O.B.'s a bad matchup, which is not true, but whatever. I heard R.O.B.'s a bad matchup. I'm just going to try it. And it worked out for a set. And I think that that's something that he could consider going forward, but he also could, if he really, really got to the point where he wanted to win against Min, I don't even think Joker's the answer. He could just play Meta Knight. But
it's nice to have options, though. I'm sure that like at least relieves the frustration of like not liking fighting the character.
Yeah, like if he picked Meta Knight against Min, I doubt he would ever lose. Honestly,
damn, it's that bad.
It's not that it's that bad. I just think Leo is that good, and there are some things about the matchup where like you get hit one time as Min, like, or you get grabbed. And that's the problem. Like, as you can see, you can get grabbed a lot as Min. As weird as it sounds, like the range.
Yeah.
There's like specific ranges where if she commits, then it's a problem. So she won't commit. So when they get close, you like end up shielding a lot because you don't want to roll too much or like take damage. So you can get grabbed a lot as Min, and Meta Knight will kill you off of a grab, but also kill you off of a dash attack. So And tornado goes through arms. So like when you're recovering, you can't even fight back. You just get hit by a tornado. So there's a few ways he could go about it if he decided to ever play Meta Knight, which I think will be really interesting because I know how much he likes Meta Knight and he's tried Meta Knight in Ultimate a few times. So that could be an option for him as well.
This is OG character, man. That's when we first heard. That's when we first heard about him when he started.
He thought the MK stood for Meta Knight, so
Monster Kingdom, maybe. You already got to know. But speaking of his Meta Knight, one of his first big wins ever was Dabuz, and look at that transition right there. We're going to talk about Dabuz a little bit.
Yeah, I was about to say, there's a lot to talk about with Proto and Leo, but Dabuz's run.
Bro.
This is what I wanted to talk about, too, yeah.
He lost to Frog, who's a really good Bayo if you don't pay attention to Bayo
Vegas,
players.
yeah.
Frog in the crew battle. I was so confused. He literally, he 3-stocked Bloom with Olimar. I mean, maybe Bloom just doesn't know the Olimar matchup or something of the sorts, but I was very surprised when I heard Frog is the one that knocked him into losers.
Him losing to a Bayo is just, I totally agree because, well, I think Frog's brilliant. I think they're a very good player, obviously, but it's Dabuz, and he's so good against Bayo, so I don't know what happened, but that is a huge W.
I'm very curious what character Dabuz went for that match. I mean, maybe Frog's just very good at Olimar or something like, you know what I mean?
Sometimes too, Frog's one of those players where maybe he prepped all weekend to fight Dabuz. That was his whole goal was I'm going to get to Dabuz and I'm just going to get ready and that's going to be it. So let me see here. It was 1-2. Let me see if they... Dude, events have been so good about entering all that stuff, but no, there were no games reported. I don't see anything.
Yeah.
But yeah,
bro.
But Dabuz went on for the craziest losers run.
Dude, he went 13-2.
Shout out to my region in general. Jackal and Dabuz.
Bro.
Yes, Jackal.
Let's fucking go. That was really cool to see. I'm proud of both of them. Of course, I'm always proud of them, but especially Dabuz, who is no stranger to being in top 8. But it was just cool having them both hold down the fort. Because it's crazy times for Smash Ultimate right now, getting in top 8's a little hard lately because there's just some crazy new stuff going on and the meta is shifting. So shout outs to holding it down, honestly.
Well, and we started talking about upsets. I think, Marcus, you had a count of the total, even if it was just an upset
200 or something.
What was
right?
it? 200?
Oh, yeah. There were, according to seeding, by seeding, there's over 200 upsets that happen.
Dude. Which is, and there are some really, really good players, I think Riddle's got 33rd, which is his lowest placement in 3 years.
That's a lot because long. Riddle's has been very consistent. So this is the first low placement in a while. So if anything, it's a shout out to Riddles. And Riddles has been going to tournaments every weekend.
I know.
Yeah, I see him at everything. I'm like, dang,
take a break.
He's grinding. I know. I think my man needs a break for real. He's the GOAT, though.
Obviously, that's up to him, but
yeah.
Either
way. But yeah, Dabuz.
Riddles and Cola, I just see them at every tournament.
They're grinders, dude.
True. Bro, I was sitting at my house and I would go on Twitter just randomly and I would just see PG stats and it's
yeah, 5-4.
I'm like,
bro, it's been 5 minutes.
I'll be honest. I have notifications on for PG stats so that when a tournament gets started and all that stuff, it just I see everything as it happens.
Yeah,
it's great. Except for this weekend, my phone did not shut the fuck up because it was every 4 seconds someone was getting upset. Upset factor 96. I'm like, what happened? What the hell?
Bro, it was crazy. I was like, this can't be real. This does not make any sense.
Dude, Dabuz had 13 set wins at Double Down. 13-2 is what he went. Just simply amazing.
Honestly, it was different. It was mostly Rosa, especially once he got going, I think, in Losers. It was all Rosa. There wasn't this counter pick thing going on. It was just Rosa specialist. The Rosa is looking stronger than usual. It was really fucking cool, honestly. It was just fundies. Just base character. No one even plays Rosa like Dabuz, honestly, in terms of results. And, just
dude, he was bringing the tech, too.
Shoutouts to the Luma landing up smashes.
Bro, that joint was so clean. In the set, into his...
Eliminating Sonics with that tech, literally. I remember that.
Yeah. Bro, his run, starting with Teaser 3-0. He beat Polar 3-0 after losing to Frog. Cyro, the good Roy. Omar, Chag, Ned, Kurama, Sonics, Jackal does give him problems locally too. He's beaten him at, is it regionals?
Yeah, it was game 5, so.
Yeah, exactly.
I think SmashCon, Jackal beat.
Yeah, I think Jackal just straight up 2-0'd him at SmashCon.
Oh, true.
I don't know if they have any other like majors and stuff, but like that was the last one I remembered.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, amazing stuff, man. And then
Apollo Kage getting top 12 as well.
Yeah, Apollo Kage is.
There's a lot of good snake players there, and Apollo Kage kind of came out on top.
A lot of stickies like on the people. That was cool.
Oh
like,
yeah.
I thought it was very entertaining to watch Apollo Kage snake. You know what I mean? Just it's clearly a very different style of gameplay, and it's sick to watch. And honestly, I want to talk about Dabuz's like tech, the dash attack cancel stuff.
Bro.
So there's actually like when you do a dash attack with Rosa, you can actually cancel the dash attack. So Luma does dash attack, and then you can go into something like grab or jump. Right. If you jump, you nair. The reason why this is good is one, nair is just good, and you can just fast fall it afterwards. But you get to desync Luma away from you, but Luma is going to come back to you. So like you can also cancel things like that into special moves and things like that. So there's a lot of tricks there, and then you can actually input a wave land. So he was doing like dash attack, jump, wave land, and then off the dash he would wave land into people, and off the dash attack connection you can combo it into up smash. Like, and then you can also grab in that situation too, right? So the player that is receiving the mix up, like, that's fucked up. That's like a really, really good tool. And then on top of that, doing like lunar landings and things like that, where you're essentially like doing like a back air or a down air right before you hit the ground. Luma's doesn't really come out. It auto cancels. And then Luma goes into the attack. But then you can cancel those attacks with specials too. So you see a lot of times Dabuz zoning out with like lunar landing back air into side B, stuff like that. And it was really sick to watch. I mean, Dabuz, in my opinion, has been the best Rosa for quite some time. It was kind of debatable in the beginning when Kirihara was playing Rosa, but Kirihara now plays Sheik. And then also on top of that, Dabuz's Rosa just has the results. And now we're starting to see all the like more technical stuff come out, which is really sick to see.
Yeah, there was just an extra bit of confidence from the Rosa and just, technical prowess. And it was cool to see Dabuz like that. Just like have like a character specialist run.
Yeah, it was weird. It was unfortunate, I guess I should say, that he ran into T, because they definitely played 3 weeks ago in winners finals and 2 sets in grand finals. And Dabuz actually reversed 3-0 T in winners finals to get into grands.
Mm-hmm.
But Dabuz went up 2-0, and then T reversed 3-0'd him the first set of grands, and then I think he 3-0'd him in the second set. And I was just sitting there like, T figured out something about Dabuz, and
just hasn't let go.
He has not let go. So I like saw them that they had to play, and I was like, "Oh no, Dabuz, your run! Like, this is so unfortunate. Hopefully, you figure something out from the set y'all played 3 weeks ago." But I'm just so curious. I kind of want to like watch that set, like those sets,
try to figure out what happened. Yeah,
like what T really grasped about Dabuz's play that's allowing him to get these sets over him.
Yeah.
Hey everyone, today's episode is sponsored by Honey, the easy way to save when shopping on your iPhone or computer. Now, I don't know about all of you, chat, but I do be shopping online all the time. The thing is, though, I always feel like I'm wasting money when I can't find a promo code when I'm ready to check out. But, thanks to Honey, manually searching for coupon codes is a thing of the past. Honey is the free shopping tool that scours the internet for promo codes and applies the best one it finds to your cart. Now, let me paint a little picture for you. Imagine you're shopping at one of your favorite sites. When you check out, the Honey button appears and all you have to do is click Apply Coupons. Wait a few seconds as Honey searches for a coupon it can find for that site, and if Honey finds a working coupon, you'll watch the prices drop. So I used Honey earlier this week, right after recording this episode, to order my dog a bag of his favorite treats because he had just ran out. Now, I order these things all the time because he's such a good boy. And thanks to Honey, I was able to save $5 on my purchase. I'll be using Honey to save money when ordering these dog treats every time from here on out. It was just so easy to use. And did you know, Honey doesn't just work on desktop. It works on your iPhone too. Just activate it on Safari on your phone and save on the go. If you don't already have Honey, you could be straight up missing out. And by getting it, you'll be doing yourself a solid and supporting this show. I'd never recommend something I don't use, so get Honey for free at joinhoney.com/tweek. That's joinhoney.com/tweek.
Ken is also very consistent
True.
competitor in top 8s lately. Ken got 5th place with Sephiroth and Sonic, of course.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of interesting how it's like you get a bit of all the Fighter Pass 2 here, except Sora. You get Ken, or not Ken.
Weird.
Sephiroth.
Weird. We're not seeing
Oh.
Sora. Weird.
Oh, it's because Kameme is not
Unreal.
here. Yeah, Kameme
That's
is
what
not
I'm
here.
saying.
Oh,
Everyone sleeps on Sora, but Sora does have good results too.
Yeah, Kameme gets top 8 of like everything.
Yeah.
No.
Shouts to that.
Come on,
Sora
man.
is good, I promise.
Commend me on the win rate Twitter, man.
But you get a little bit of Sephiroth, Min, Steve, Kazuya, like Aegis, like all of that was in the top 12.
Cloud, you know, like
Wow.
I think it's
DLC
really
characters.
interesting to see how specific players are shifting to the meta, especially if you were like pre-quarantine, or you know what I mean. Like obviously, there's been a really drastic shift in the meta within the last like
Bro.
1 to 3 months or whatnot, right? And like seeing Colo play more Cloud is interesting because before that it felt like he was exclusively solo Roy, or kind of leaning more towards that. So it's really sick to see. Even I mean, we have a top player on this podcast, and even for Tweek, I know you've been saying you've been picking up more like Cloud and Sephiroth. So just seeing the shift in meta, and also another thing I want to mention about Double Down is that it's like one of the first times we've had a lot of top level Japanese talent play in an open bracket environment for like in the US for quite some time. And we had like top European players like Bloom and stuff like that there. Unfortunate that Gluto couldn't make it. I mean, even it still felt like a really sick tournament, even though not every single top seed was there, right? Like
it was a great tournament for sure. Like
yeah, so it was really cool to see Team Japan come in strong, and they performed really well.
Yeah, Japan, like that's a topic
Yeah.
in itself, right? Like how Japan took up like most of the winner side top 8.
Plus losers Shogun and Gak too.
There's just
in top 16,
a lot of Japanese talent in the top 12.
That was such a sick set too. By the way, I don't know if you
Yeah.
guys caught that one, but damn, Shogun versus Gak was so sick. That
It
was. There were so many good.
What
sets
a way
in
to
that
end the night!
yeah, for real. Dude, and shout outs. Can I shout out Dom real quick too? My man,
Yeah.
obviously.
Oh,
That's my
my.
goat right there. How could it not be? Beating Suarez, that is a really, really tough matchup for Belmont. Like that is not a fun time at all. And then beating Jackal too. And I know Jackal doesn't have a lot of Belmont experience, but sometimes that just happens to you in majors. And he bounced back and had a great losers run anyway, so we could definitely talk about it. So
Jackal eliminating Riddles was, I think, the most impressive win he had this tournament, because I think Wolf versus the fighting game characters is like the risk reward is really out of your favor. Like you have to win neutral a lot more, and obviously if you get hit, you're probably gonna die.
When they always have rage too, like Terry and Kazuya, it's like Wolf usually kills you at like what 130, 140-ish with F tilt by the edge, right? But then when you throw like the Terry and Kazuya weight on it, like all of a sudden it's like, oh man, like I have to ledge trap this crazy character that could just get one reversal with max rage, and I have to be like very careful and consistent about it. So yeah, I can see why it's like would feel really.
It's very stressful, especially in a tournament environment, and I think like I don't even think Jackal is that experienced against that at a top level in tournaments and stuff. So just huge win and just a huge run for top 8. Shouts to Wolf as well.
Especially because Riddles has been so consistent, and that's a matchup he's good at. You know, and the interesting thing about the fighting game characters against Wolf is honestly Ryu and Ken having focus is so Wolf can't break focus easily in the air. Like you have to try. Like I think Sweet Spot back air can beat level 1 maybe. But even then, like you have to hard read it with an up smash or something. He doesn't have multi-hit aerials. Like it is a huge factor in that matchup that you can't take advantage of their disadvantage. You can go off stage against them, which is nice, but even then, it is a really, really stressful matchup for Wolf for sure.
Yeah. One of the weirdest weaknesses about Wolf is a lot of his aerial frame data being the exact same. A lot of his aerials are frame 7, neutral air, forward air, and up air. And I think fighting game characters like that because they can play that parry game really well, and
there's not a lot of timing mix-ups.
There's not a lot of timing mix-ups to open up the characters, so it's really scary to press anything as Wolf. And if you get reversaled or if they open you up, like you're more likely to die off of an opening. than vice versa. So it's a really strange weakness to have because frame 7 is great frame data. Like that's a great number on multiple aerials, but when they're all the same frame, it gets a little weird.
Thank God for back air, huh? That one mix up on the timing.
Yeah, it is a really crazy timing mix up sometimes, especially with the air drift and like
with
air drift in there. Yeah,
so sick. Yeah, his kid is so sick.
It's a really back air being, I think, frame 13 changes up things quite a bit, especially with the extra range and everything.
Right. But the main thing is you have to be facing a different direction. So it's like a fighting game character can see that Wolf's facing forward and be like, okay, generally, like, my parry timing is going to be about the same. And if it was like a preemptive rising there, it's like, oh, well, that's just a meaty hitbox coming at me. I can just parry it or whatnot. And I think it's really cool to hear you talk about it, Gavin, because you used to play that matchup in tournament against fighting game characters, like back when I coached you. What year was it? Whenever the second Let's Make Big Moves happened. Mm-hmm. It was the one that you actually lost to Riddles in Winners or Losers?
Losers, yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, I remember just... I think it's really sick that you have the experience in that matchup, right? Because you used to play a lot of Wolves, so...
Yeah, Wario and Wolf versus the fighting game characters is definitely difficult just because you do have to fight them at a range they like once in a while. Mm-hmm. Yeah, something else that I think was interesting just because of my own experience was the set right after Dabuz versus Jackal, and it was Dabuz versus Ken. I really wanted to see this one because we've seen a lot of... Basically, I was anticipating the Sephiroth to come out. I'm sure a lot of us would guess that. Like, a lots of range versus Rosalina is really nice for bullying Luma. And that's exactly what you want. Like, it's, we've seen a lot of Cloud versus Rosalina and other Smash games and like stuff like that. So I was anticipating the Ken Sephiroth, and we've seen a lot of Ken Sephiroth versus his own region, but we haven't really seen Ken Sephiroth in those like big stage matchups versus other places. And I really wanted to watch this set and just see how it went down. And it was really close. There was a lot of really like close, decisive moments. Dabuz ended up winning it. And Dabuz had a lot of counterplay ready that I don't think... Me and Marcus were chatting about it. Like the star bits with Luma side B, like, was just bullying like Sephiroth and just like chipping away, and like that damage is a big deal,
Who was zoning who?
Yeah, it was really strange.
Right.
He won the set by doing triple side B into up smash.
Yeah, like
I was like, bro,
getting bullied and chipped away. It's like, all right, catching the jump or whatever it is. Yeah,
bro, that's also how I got my Rosalina into Elite Smash. So we've all been there.
Were you side Bing? Is that actually
just smashing side B and up smashing? Yeah, dude.
What's your professional opinion?
Now that I know, if I ever do that, I know what the strategy is. It reminds me of Ice Climbers.
I'm not a professional.
Elite Smash.
Well, he was just like using side B like a sword, essentially. It didn't feel like he was using it as a projectile, because what I've learned from watching Dabuz is he's the best Rosalina by far at controlling where he wants Luma on the screen. Like, he'll like do certain things, like he'll like crouch for a little bit to get Luma to move down a little bit, or like move back, or like you even saw like there was like a clip people were talking about where he shielded and got Luma to go behind him. So he's like doing like certain jumps and certain dashes and certain like movements.
Yeah, that's so tricky
to make Luma be in certain places. And the way he was doing it with star bits, it just felt like it was like, oh, I have a sword now. Like, I'm going to jump and side B. Like, now you have to respect me from this distance instead of like the closer range distance. So it was just really cool to watch Dabuz's Luma, or Rosalina.
Dude, again, it reminded me of that conversation we had with the Japanese players at Invitational. The tricks, right? Like, it's so, and I don't mean that in a negative way. Like, you got to be tricky with it. You got to mix it, especially in a matchup like this where Luma could just die. Like, if you're not min-maxing everything, you're just going to be losing so bad. Dude, in the down airs into up smash was so sick, too.
Yeah, man. What am I watching? Like, Pit?
It's so like good, dude. Yeah.
That's the Pyra combo, bro.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Pyra. I was specifically thinking of Pit because Pit's down air sends so, like, it doesn't send very high when it's so weak, and that's what Rosa's down air reminded me of. Like, the Rosa was hitting different. I think that's why it's a big topic on the podcast today, because we've seen Dabuz play millions of times in Smash, and this run just hit different. Like, I really think he should be proud of it. I know Dabuz, like, is definitely, like a lot of like a lot of us, like just wants the W. But what a run after getting upset so early on.
Getting so deep.
But yeah, I really wanted to watch this set. I think it was good data for me because surprise, surprise, if I ever played Dabuz, like you would probably see a Sephiroth come out, right? Like I don't think I am catching anyone off guard by saying that. So it helps me a lot. It's fun to watch, and I wanted to see Ken play versus other people as well. So that was really interesting.
Yeah, and I mean he got 4th, right? Dabuz got 4th.
Yep.
Dabuz did get 4th, yeah.
That
so
is
that was the last set he won in the bracket. So Ken getting 5th, and then Dabuz getting 4th, losing to T the next round.
He lost his round 4. You know what I mean? Like, what the
yeah,
hell?
like insane.
And he got 4th.
Like you shouldn't be here. Like that's how crazy the run was.
Just the endurance alone is complete insanity.
Yeah,
wild.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know if you guys want to talk about the crew battle, but I mean, we did have a crew battle there, right?
We did.
Oh
we did.
yeah, we had a lot. Oh, before.
I mean, we also had a lot of, because of the top 12. There's a lot to talk about too. We had Cola getting 5th as well.
It's too lit.
Beating Shuton and Jake. So
rules.
beating Fighter Pass 2 characters, which is pretty huge.
With the Cloud.
The Cloud came out.
Actually,
you know, it's funny because we definitely recorded the Patreon bonus episode yesterday, and it was literally about this topic of like the meta shifting. It was a really interesting episode. Y'all should check it out.
True. Thank you for that. I wanted to mention that in the intro.
That's natural poke.
We did recently do the July bonus episode. We do a bonus episode every month on the Patreon, and it was just one question, like, what is a healthy meta to you? And it's like, we could still talk. We could talk where we left off yesterday. There's like infinite kind of perspectives on that.
But we won't, because you got to pay for that episode. So go over there and get it.
Pay for it, you bum.
Right. That's what I said.
That's what I said.
Yeah, dude. One thing is that, man, everything ran, especially because it was West Coast to East Coast. I was just up so late every night. Crew battle,
4 o'clock. Like I'm like, what the heck is going on here?
I was like, I'm obviously not going to bed. Like I'm not a quitter. You know what I'm saying? What was Leo? Like, is Leo gonna make the run? You know, he reset.
That's how you know it's a good tournament, bro. Yeah. Like you're up all night.
Sleeping isn't an option.
I'm not going to sleep. I need to finish. Like it was too lit.
It was too lit. It was great, man.
Jake also getting top 8 with Steve. So Steve wasn't silenced. Steve was there.
He was there.
3-0ing Gact in round 1 of top 12. Sonic's also getting right outside of top 8. So still very consistent.
Consistent.
Like, Sonic's is a name that you should probably expect in that area of the bracket every time he enters.
Guaranteed top 16.
Like,
if not,
just a shoe-in for top 8, like most of the time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, really interesting top 12. Like I said, like a bit of all the Fighter Pass 2 there, but the character who won wasn't Steve or Kazuya. It was Min Min.
Whoa!
Do we have that top 8 graphic again, Chris, our production guy?
I mean, it's interesting that this is also part of the things we talked about yesterday, but like there were so many players that were supposed to go that didn't go that would change the entire bracket. Like T only lost to Leo, right? Which is like really unfortunate. And Proto only lost to Leo once. But Light was supposed to be at this tournament, right? And if you remember the last time that Light played Proto tried Lucina for 2 games because Fox is like a bad matchup for Min Min. Then he went Min Min, and that game was not close. And like, it's so interesting that like literally one player attending or not attending a tournament could just change the entire bracket. Like, if Light performed like Light normally does, he probably would have been in that top like 3 area, right? And if he played against Proto, because Light was 2nd seed, he would have been on the same side as Proto. So there's some things that are really interesting that could have changed the entire bracket, but
I feel like that's always what's exciting about waiting for the next tournament, because there's always 1 or 2 players, like big name players that weren't at the last one, and it's like, all right, how's it going to change up the bracket now? Like this player won last week, or this player did well last week, but like how would they do? We talked about this a lot, like just the dynamic of characters and players, and like X player beats this player, but they lose to this player. It's kind of similar to like a tier list or a matchup chart.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wait, do we have that graphic still actually? Because it was interesting. We were talking about the changes and like it's not necessarily just Fighter Pass 2, and we talked about it a little bit, but the responses to it as well. Like Ken with Sephiroth is on there. Obviously that's Fighter Pass 2. Proto with the main as the Min Min and Lucina kind of taking that secondary spot. Leo having Rob on there is pretty much a direct result of Fighter Pass 2 existing, right?
Yeah.
Like, almost directly. T having Kazuya on there. Dabuz going Rosa. I feel like
it's talking about how
different. There's no Olimar on that card. Like we said, none of that in top 12. Like pretty much everyone on here on that top 8, except for Jackal, who's played Wolf since day one and just he's real for that.
Well, not quite day one, but pretty much day one.
Yeah. Was he Sonic in the beginning? Did he try?
Pichu, and then Pichu, like
okay.
Pokemon trainer and.
Oh, okay. You went through that. But still, yeah. But Cola, the main is Cloud, and Roy's on the back burner, and then we got Jacob there too, obviously, Fighter Pass 2. So it really is like a true statement, not just for Fighter Pass 2 existing and being relevant as in people getting results with them, but also how people are playing against them and what they need to do.
It's a huge topic, and I like talking about it a lot because it's a gradual thing too. Players are having more of a dedicated plan and character selections for Fighter Pass 2. And we were talking about how hyped Dabuz's run was, and I didn't even really consider that it's probably a product of just like what he's up against.
Yep.
And like he's developing around that. So as lame as some of these characters can be, it also kind of creates new dynamics that wouldn't have happened otherwise. So
yeah, people cheering for Rob.
Exactly. It's like it just like I don't know. Like if you asked us on the show last week, like what's going to happen at Double Down, I don't think we would say that. Because we knew about the Leo R.O.B as like a fun little science experiment, but like, yeah, all 50,000 people are going to be cheering for Leo's R.O.B as he's like the underdog in grand final. It's like, what a weird like outcome. So, Fighter Pass 2 is definitely changing the game. Obviously in some bad ways and in a lot of interesting ways too. Though.
Bad, huh?
I mean, the game's perfect.
True, Min is too lit. Big agree. Y'all know me. I always say Min's the hero of the game.
Oh god.
Yeah. But bro, we talked about it in
we did too. Yeah.
You gotta watch the Patreon episode.
Yeah,
honestly,
it was a really good episode. It was fun.
Yeah. I don't want to go through the whole.
I'll give it up for us. We're great.
Yeah.
True.
We rule. Yeah. True. All right, around the horn one last time. I know we're gonna go here probably pretty soon.
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Oh, okay. I guess I'll go first. Shout outs to Min winning an event.
Yeah.
I don't know if he only won important sets with Min or if he went Lucina and against Ken he went Lucina, right?
Yeah, he definitely won games with
That's
Lucina.
Unfortunate. I was gonna say it's the first time like solo Min has really popped off, but
it wasn't like
mostly
a 50-50,
Min. Yeah, mostly Min. It's lit. Glad Proto in the interview with Charles said that Min is high tier because that is facts. Spitting, but I can't say anything for a month. I am now banned from talking about Min, just like how Charles is with Fox. Fox is trash again, and it's too lit. See you.
Light took a break. That doesn't mean Fox is still broken. Actually, and Shogun's Fox.
I didn't see any light in top 8, dude.
No Fox, bro.
Shogun's Fox. What are you talking about?
Shogun did beat MVD with Fox.
Shogun's Fox. He got the top 12. That's definitely not trash. That's definitely really good.
It's one match.
Fox, that's a good matchup for Fox.
Goodness.
True.
Oh my god, jeez. All right, Charles, what's your last word here?
So shout outs to Team Japan coming out. It's always a treat to watch them compete in the different environments. I know we kind of got a glimpse of it at Battle of BC and Crown, I believe was a tournament in Utah, right? I think so.
Yeah, I think
the one with
Crown.
T and Dabuz. Yeah. So
Crown.
I know we kind of got some glimpses of it, but this one felt like, not everyone was there. Obviously, we had some missing U.S. and Mexico talent, being like Light, Tweek, Spargo, right? Budo wasn't available. Meister wasn't available, right? So obviously some top level talent not there, but Leo was there and a bunch of other amazing players. And even I just want to shout out how stacked that tournament was, even if you just don't look at the top end. Yeah. When me and E got on to commentate our first set of top 128, it was Bloom versus Proto. That's crazy.
Yeah.
That is insane that is my first match I'm going to commentate in top 128. So I mean, just
that
who did Proto go? 15, I'm curious.
It was 3-1 in Proto's favor. Bloom was definitely figuring it out. I actually
was he Min or Lucina?
It was Min.
Interesting. I want to watch that.
Yeah. So he actually Proto might have gone both because I know Proto likes to switch in between the sets too, but it was a good set. But I mean, just amazingly stacked. Shout outs to USA winning the crew battle. I know at the end of the day in singles, Japan did kind of take over the singles bracket, but the crew battle, it was cool to see USA win. I actually had Japan favored in that crew battle. Like when I looked at just the talent lineup, and I was like, if I were to side bet, I would have side bet Japan. But I mean, USA pulled through and clutched it up.
Clutch Mose.
Yep.
Yeah, Cosmos clutched it up in the face of Mr. Electric himself.
All right, I'll shout out the dudes from Georgia, man. They're so good. Jazzo was one set short of top 16. Cola finding a lot of consistency through his frustration too, which is great. Obviously going to Cloud a little bit more, like we've already said. And then Mugen as well doing, I think he was 2 sets shy of top 16. So Georgia always just kind of crushing it, to be real with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Love all those players too. Love the little meta they have over there and all that stuff. It's great. And shout outs to taking breaks. I'm going on my honeymoon. I will be gone for 2 weeks. So I can't wait to chill and relax and not just, obviously I'll miss the podcast and all that good stuff, but it's good to
What about playing Smash with me at 3 a.m?
Oh, well, yeah.
Well, I mean, realistically, I was about to say realistically, it'll be like 10 a.m. So you're chilling.
Yeah, okay. True. Yeah, we'll be good. So yeah, I'm excited to take a break, but I already have events lined up, so I'm excited to chill and take a break, but have those to look forward to because obviously I miss doing commentary and all that stuff between the wedding and just being busy. It's just been, I'm going to a lot of events and I miss it, but I'm happy to take a break. And I think everybody should think about that too. Especially players, TOs, commentators, give yourself a break, man. We kind of went from 0 to 150 so quick out of quarantine. Events seemed like in 2 weeks, they were just back, especially August. August is so stacked. So make sure you take care of yourselves and do all that shit. And I can't wait to go on my 2-week vacation. So there you go. Shout out to that.
Yeah. I guess my final statement, obviously we talked a lot about Double Down, is kind of similar to what Marcus talked about. I want to join the fray. I want to throw the bracket for a loop. I'm excited to keep practicing and I want to compete. And that's about it. Shouts for watching. What was today's episode was what? 56?
56.
God dang.
Wow. Shouts to that. Thank you everyone for supporting the show. And if you're interested in watching that bonus episode we were talking about, we do have a Patreon as well. And thank you so much. Have a good one.
See you.
Bye.